BC government was, I think, one of the first customers of Jay's company, Rev Technologies, when we had some vehicles converted there. And what I wanted to chat about today was some of the policies in BC that we have in place right now that have a big impact on, or we think will have a big impact on the plug-in EV sector. And also talk about our experience with conversions and the role that they played in initiating a lot of our work around plug-in electric vehicles. So in BC, about approximately 40% of the total greenhouse gas emissions in BC are attributed to transportation emissions, and about 40% of those transportation emissions are attributed to passenger vehicles. So there are a number of different technology solutions, policy options, and methods to address these transportation emissions. And we believe that there isn't just one solution that will reduce these emissions, just because of the variety of needs and the ways that we transport goods and people in the province and between jurisdictions. But generally speaking, there are three strategies that the provincial government is implementing to achieve low carbon transportation. One is to reduce vehicle use, so that's getting people out of their vehicles, walking, biking, or into public transit. The other one is around improving vehicle efficiency, and then thirdly around reducing carbon intensity of fuels. So there's a whole list of government policy items that help support low carbon transportation options, including hydrogen and fuel cell vehicles, plug-in electric vehicles, and natural gas vehicles. But there are three ones that I wanted to bring to your attention today that I think have the biggest impact in the plug-in EV sector. The first one is our life cycle low carbon fuel requirement regulation. So this is a regulation that sets a standard to decrease the carbon intensity of fuels by 10% by 2020. And traditional fuel suppliers have different options for can pick the best method essentially to meet this reduction in carbon intensity. We've included electricity as a fuel in this regulation. So that means that one of the ways that fuel suppliers can meet the requirements of that regulation is by supplying electricity or by trading low carbon fuel credits with an electricity supplier who supplies to the transportation sector. The third policy area that will impact plug-in electric vehicles is that by 2016, we're required to have all new electricity generation be zero net greenhouse gas emissions. So that, combined with BC Hydro's smart metering initiative, will ensure that the electricity that powers our plug-in electric vehicles is used in an efficient manner and is clean. And then the third item is our Pacific Green Highway. So in February, we signed a memorandum of action with the Pacific Coast states under the Pacific Coast Collaborative. And one of the commitments under that memorandum of action is to develop a green highway from BC to California that will include fueling infrastructure for a number of alternative vehicles, including plug-in electric vehicles, natural gas, and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. So why do we have such a big emphasis on plug-in electric vehicles? Well, to sum up, they're one of the options that we see for meeting our commitments, primarily in the light-duty and medium-duty vehicle sector. The second thing is the vehicles are coming. Automakers have said to us the vehicles will be here now and in the next few years. So we need to ensure that we as a government, as policymakers, and that our public, that our fleets are prepared for these vehicles. And then we need to make sure that our energy system infrastructure is prepared and is robust to manage these vehicles. And then finally, we want to be able to be leaders and help shape the plug-in electric vehicle sector and maximize opportunities for BC in making sure that they're used efficiently, that we're able to use our clean energy resources in powering these vehicles, and that they're a part of a low carbon economy so that there's job creation and economic development related to plug-in electric vehicles. So with our partners, BC Hydro, the City of Vancouver, Green Fleets BC, the BC Transmission Corporation, and academic institutions, we've put in place this structure to manage the plug-in electric vehicle activities under the plug-in electric vehicle program. Our mandate is to help shape the transition to electric transportation as one of the low-carbon solution options. And there are 5 areas that we're focusing our efforts. One is around regional marketing, so that's our internal engagement and outreach with our public, and then also external engagement with major auto manufacturers and solutions providers. The second area is around analysis, so getting a handle on what the impacts and opportunities are within our grid system. The third area is around vehicle deployment, and some of the initial steps were on plug-in electric vehicle conversions, and now we're focusing quite heavily on major auto manufacturer developments. We've signed MOUs with Mitsubishi, Nissan, and Toyota. The fourth area is around charging infrastructure, and this morning some of you may have heard the City of Vancouver and BC Hydro talk about their charging infrastructure plans. And then of course the fifth area is around policy. So I would argue that the item that initiated this big coordinated effort in the plug-in electric vehicle sector was this decision by local governments and the provincial government to take early action and demonstrate leadership in converting the vehicles that they had to plug-in electric. So I'll talk a little bit about those experiences. What did plug-in electric vehicle aftermarket conversions do for us? Well, they helped us demonstrate early leadership. So this was a technology that was ready when we were ready to make the conversions in our vehicles. We were able to gain a lot of knowledge and understanding around how to operate and maintain a new vehicle technology within our fleet. Each of the vehicles is equipped with data monitoring devices that allow us to go online and see how the vehicles are being used and use that data to build up our expertise in analyzing these plug-in electric vehicles. We helped develop a bit of an industry in BC around plug-in electric vehicle conversions. So some of the first ones were done at Power Tech Labs and later ones were done at Rev Technologies. And we think that will help build a little bit of the experience and skills and training needed to make this a viable sector in BC. The other purpose that these vehicles served was they were great for engaging in discussions within our own organizations around policy and charging infrastructure and programs related to plug-in electric vehicles. It was difficult to engage in those discussions without having an actual vehicle to point to. The second thing is they served as great pieces to go out and start having those conversations with the public around what the issues are around plug-in electric vehicles in our system, what opportunities they are, and how we can prepare ourselves for when the auto manufacturer vehicles are coming. So overall, I think what these vehicles did is they did a few things for us. One was they helped us demonstrate early leadership to meet our commitments to becoming carbon neutral and reducing our greenhouse gas emissions. And they helped us develop a maturity in the plug-in electric vehicle sector, an experience that we'll be able to apply to later vehicle deployments and to our policy development as this program area develops in the province. I think that's it. Thank you.